Welcome back, YouTube. DB Squonks here. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Profile RDA by Mr. JustRight1 Wotofo. This is the Rainbow Edition. It comes in various different colors. I believe it's gold, rainbow, gunmetal, black, stainless, and blue, I believe are the colors. I do have also the black one sitting right here that I already have built with the mesh. I've been trying this out, and so far so good. But we're going to dive down the table, show you guys what comes inside the box. I'll show you guys how to build the mesh, and we'll bring it back up on top, talk about it, and give you my pros and cons. See you at the table. Okay, so here we are at the table with the Profile RDA by Mr. JustRight1 Wotofo. On the front of your box, you got Profile Wotofo, Mr. JustRight1. Shows you the top cap and your deck. On the top of the box, it's going to say your color configuration, your scratch and check, UPC, Mr. JustRight Wotofo, Wotofo's Instagram and Facebook, and then the other side back to Profile again. And on the back, give you guys a little freeze frame here. Just tells you your contents. The Profile RDA, user manual, Japanese cotton, extra A10 drip tip, Clapton coil, your mesh tool, extra O-rings, extra screws. Then also, for a separate purchase, you can add the cotton that's actually designed for this RDA. Then you can also buy the Wotofo strip, I call them strip coils, but they're mesh coils, separate. They come in packs of 10. So if I can get this box open, I'll show you guys what comes inside. Alright, so your top cap. Set that aside for a second. Your build deck. Extra A10. You also have your little Barbie and Ken screwdriver, your mesh tool, Allen key for changing the squonk pin to a solid pin, your user manual, your bag of spares, the O-rings, post screws, solid 510, springs, cotton. This is the single coil that they provide. It says that it's a frame staple Clapton with 28 gauge frames, 38 x 9 with 36 ohming out at a 0.33. But the last time I checked, anytime I made a frame staple, it always used ribbon wire as cores and round wire as frames. So to me, this is just a multi-core fused Clapton is what I would call it. I wouldn't call it a frame staple by any means because there's no ribbon wire. Then also included is your mesh. It's Canthal, ohms out at a 0.18. That single coil is also nichrome, by the way. Put this all back in the box. Set this to the side. Leave out that mesh tool. I'll show you guys how to use that. Now on to the RDA. Here's your RDA. Airflow is that honeycomb style that we've been seeing a lot of lately. This is a two-piece top cap. Airflow on both sides. Has a little profile engraving. Probably can't see it too well because of the lighting, but it does say Profile right here. And the other side is just blank. Does have an 810 drip tip. The O-ring is pretty snug on this 810 drip tip. It's the last Wotofo device I did was the Warrior RDA, and that O-ring was a little loose on the 810s, but I've tried other 810s on this and have no problem with them. Get this top cap separate. Here's your airflow control ring. I have cleaned this, but when I did get it, there was machine oil all over this AFC. On both this one and the black one that I have, there was machine oil all over it. So make sure you guys clean these before you use them, please. It does have an O-ring right there. This is the step down style airflow control. On the barrel section, the barrel is quite thick, and like I said, I've been using this, the black one that I have, I've been using it, and for the thickness of the barrel, you would think it would get kind of hot, but it actually doesn't. Stays fairly cool, actually. But on the inside of the barrel, it's probably hard for you guys to see, but there is a little locking tab, so it does lock in place on the deck. And if you can see, let's focus, right around that tab, for some reason, I don't know if that was just the way that it was made or what, but the machining's actually fairly nice, but there's like a little ring that goes around the inside, and it looks like it's ribbed or something. I guess they made it ribbed for her pleasure, maybe? I don't know. But anyhow, onto the deck. The deck does have a ceramic spring-loaded block in the middle. That's what keeps us different from other mesh RDAs. So it actually keeps your cotton in contact with the mesh, so you won't get, dry hits or whatever. Because if you guys have ever hit or dry hit mesh, that's a painful experience. It's probably 100 times worse than dry hitting a regular coil. But on the side, you do have your clamp screws, or post screws rather. They are Phillips and flathead screws on both sides. Now the clamps are not spring loaded. I would have liked to seen the clamps spring loaded, but whatever, just personal opinion. If you do ever have to change the spring, you just take a flathead screwdriver and put it down on top of the screw right here and just unscrew that, and then you can replace the spring. On the bottom, it does say Profile, Wotofo, Mr. Just Right, and you do have your 510 pin. It is protruding, so I'm sure if you put this solid pin in it, it will be protruding far enough for you guys to use them on your hybrid mechanical devices if you choose to do so. Do have your negative post screw, and then on back to the actual deck part, it is laser etched with Mr. JustRight1's logo and Wotofo's logo. So get a little build stand here that a buddy of mine made for me, and we'll throw a piece of mesh on this thing so my wife can use it so she'll quit bugging me. So let's get a piece of mesh, and I'll show you guys how to use this little mesh tool that they've included. Comes in fairly handy.
Wow, Christy, do you see that truck? I mean, gross. That is so tacky. That must be one of those rednecks I've heard about.
Come on, let's roll. Just bought a case of beer, now we heading for a mud hole. Country boys, and we do it right. Got the bill on my hat pointing straight to the sky. Carhartt and Wrangler's on. Bass Pro hat, camouflage on my phone. Got the Browning decal on the back, right next to a G. What you know about that? Country, and that's how we live. If you got moonshine, then I'm taking a sip. Some folks call me a redneck. I smile and take it as a compliment. I live life the only way I know how. Walk with a swagger and rep the South. And if you see me as I'm riding through the crowd, I'm hanging out the window screaming it loud. Yeah, buddy, rolling like a redneck. Truck jacked up, I got smokestacks. Nuts hanging hanging off the hitch, and a system in the back that'll make your nose itch. Yeah, I'm living that right, and I'm riding that tight, Son, I'm riding so tight that my tires sound like a damn bulldog bite. Yeah, my tires sound like a damn bulldog bite, waking people up as I ride through at night. And don't forget about the Skyjack and lift kit. How you think I made the 44th step? Don't you know we ain't playing around? 612's in the back helping out with the sound. And I got a train horn if you too slow. Speed up or I'm letting it blow. If you're riding too close from behind, I got spotlights that will turn you blind. Yeah, so back off, you don't want none. Hanging on the back glass ain't a BB gun. Fool, who'd you think you were messing with? These country boys, they ain't no myth. And if you see me as I'm riding through the crowd, I'm hanging out the window screaming it loud. Yeah, buddy, rolling like a redneck. Truck stacked up, I got smokestacks. Nuts hanging off the hitch, and a system in the back that'll make your nose itch. Yeah, I'm living that right, and I'm riding that tight, Son, I'm riding so tight that my tires sound like a damn bulldog bite. Okay, we about to wrap it up. You know that we country, and that we tough. You know that we hunt, you know that we fish. You know when we see a buck, we don't miss. You know that we love to play in the mud, and when we get trucks, we jack them up. And when we get stuck, we don't get mad. We drop the tailgate and have a party in the back. That's right, we live so tight. Open the cooler and grab your Bud Light. I'm talking to her damn body. Meet me at the mud hole, 6 o'clock Friday. If you down to have you a good time, you better show up, fool, I ain't lying. And if you see me as I'm riding through the crowd, I'm hanging out the window screaming it loud. Yeah, buddy, rolling like a redneck. Truck stacked up, I got smokestacks. Nuts hanging off the hitch, and a system in the back that'll make your nose itch. Yeah, I'm living that right, and I'm riding that tight, Son, I'm riding so tight that my tires sound like a damn bulldog bite. Yeah, buddy, rolling like a redneck. Truck stacked up, I got smokestacks. Nuts hanging off the hitch, and a system in the back that'll make your nose itch. Yeah, I'm living that right, and I'm riding that tight, Son, I'm riding so tight that my tires sound like a damn bulldog.
Okay, so here we are back up top with the Profile RDA by Mr. JustRight1 and Wotofo. Give you guys my pros and my cons and get you guys out of here. Pros, definitely the build quality. Build quality is definitely a pro. The machine's excellent. There wasn't any rough spots or spurs or whatever on this RDA. The airflow is definitely another pro. Has to be the smoothest airflow I've ever had on an RDA. You can make it pretty restrictive, you know, or even all the way open. It does have a substantial amount of airflow. I like to run mine about 2/3 the way open, I guess. It is extra smooth. All the contents that come in the package, I showed you guys those up close. Pretty much comes with everything you need to build it, except for if you're going to run it in single coil mode. It does not come with the cotton for the single coil mode. The cotton that's included is meant for the mesh, being that the cotton is 6 millimeters by 60 millimeters. You're not going to be able to fit that in a 3 millimeter coil. Other than that, you know, the price is comparable to most of your common RDAs. You know, it's pretty much that price range. I believe at my local shop it's going for like 30-35 bucks, right around there. So that's pretty much it. I mean, the flavor that I'm getting off the mesh is by far way better than I've ever gotten out of any coil ever. As far as a normal coil goes. So using the mesh in an RDA, I do love the mesh. So the flavor, again, is definitely a pro. The only real con that I have would have to be using it in mesh mode. With that amount of cotton that you have to use for the mesh, it sucks up a lot, and I mean a lot of juice. Usually when I'm running a single coil on the top side, or even a dual coil on the top side, normal coil, you know, I usually squonk every 5-6 hits, roughly right around there. with this thing, I pretty much have to squawk it after every hit or after every 2 hits. Otherwise, it will be a dry hit, and dry hitting mesh absolutely sucks. It's way worse than dry hitting any coil I've ever had. But yeah, that's pretty much my only con. So this is what I recommend this RDA. It just depends on what type of vapor you are, I guess. My experience, I've been using this for a week. My experience, I've used it in both single coil and mesh mode. I do prefer the mesh instead of the single coil. So I guess back to the question, would I recommend this to anybody? Yes, I would definitely recommend it. But it is going to be a much cooler vape than, you know, a normal dual coil. I guess it's comparable to single coils or whatever, just depending on what wattage you run it at. I usually run mine right around the 55 to 65 watt range. Anything higher than that is just way too much power for this mesh, in my opinion. So definitely, yes, I would recommend picking it up just to have it. I think most people will probably use it if you did have this device. Other than that, guys, make sure you guys click on the advocacy links that I will post in the description. Make sure you guys stand up for your right to vape any flavor you want. The whole flavor ban with the FDA thing that's going on right now, that's, you know, we have to stand up and fight against it. I know I didn't quit smoking cigarettes off of using tobacco or menthol flavored juice. I prefer my fruits and candies, so, you know, I make sure I take part in the advocacy links and stand up for my right to still have the ability to vape those flavors. If you guys do like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, I mean, give it a thumbs down if you want. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now. And make sure you click on that little bell so you are notified when I post other videos or when I go live. Also, I will leave a description to my Instagram page if you guys would like to give me a follow on there. And also, one more thing, there is an awesome waffle group. Basically what it is, it's kind of like a lottery for vape devices on Facebook called Cloud Fam United. I will post a link to that as well in the description. They have a lot of awesome waffles every day, anything from RDAs, RTAs, up to, you know, the more expensive mech devices like Purge mods, Rogues, you know, whatever, what have you. Actually today, matter of fact, today we were waffling off a topside. So, you know, if you guys would like your chance at getting some devices at a cheaper price, you know, or trying your chance at basically a lottery, go over there and check it out. So with that said, I'll let you guys get out of here. Till next time, stay off the